Hello. Can you hear me all well? Okay. Hi. Thank you guys so much for coming. My name is Sophia Stone, and I'm very overjoyed that you're all here and very happy to introduce Phakchok Rinpoche, who is a teacher in the lineage of Buddhism that is affiliated with the Dharma Gyan Club here at Cal Poly Humboldt. And I'm very grateful on behalf of the Dharma Gyan Club as well that Rinpoche has come all this way to give us these teachings. And I'm really rejoicing that we can all be here together and have this discussion. And before we begin, I just wanted to briefly discuss what's here on the screen and give some information. So, 10 years ago, Phakchok Rinpoche launched the Samye Institute online platform to support those who wish to embark on a journey to awaken their inner compassion, wisdom, and dignity. And this platform provides 3 pathways of studies, the first of which is the path of dignity. And we have projected this webpage here so you can see, and contains further resources to support one's journey as well if this is something you're interested in. And after 1 month, there will be a new self-paced course launched on the site, and you can also sign up for the mailing list. So here's just some information in case this is something you'd be interested in more in the future. So once again, I appreciate everyone's attendance, and this is a really special moment that we can have a teacher like Phakchok Rinpoche come here to Cal Poly Humboldt and create a new opportunity to follow the path of Dharma and learn more about Buddhism. So thank you all so much, and now we can begin.
Hello? You can hear me?
Louder?
Hello? Okay. I'm very happy to be in this place, and a very nice city. And so my topic is called Awakening Dignity. And that story I like to tell. And I give talks many years, and I have a student variety of professors, and I'd like to touch with called our nature is pure. This is always begin with this. I'm not focused in meditation right away, or a kind of I don't teach meditation right away, or compassion, focusing, or like that. First, I try to explain all of ours nature. Each of thoughts, each of mind nature is completely untouched by negative habits, negative memories, and emotions and habits. It not touch our nature, essence of mind. So I always begin with that. For example, you want to do, prayer. I say the gliding. You jump out from the mountain with a, like a chute, and you run and you jump out from the bridge or on the mountain, prayer gliding. You need to have a very good base of mountain, quite high enough, and to jump, right? So many of us, we interest on a type of meditation or type of breathing exercise. But our base, where we jump from the mountain, the base is not actually really stable. So that's why the progress is not really far. So that's why always I talk about first is our nature is pure. What is the meaning of pure? Is untouched by our bad memories and not touched by our emotions. And so that is what I begin with. So my professor student said, Rinpoche, it's very important to you should write a book on dignity. So that's why the book came up, you know. And I don't know how to write English, so I speak, and my student professor wrote. So that's why you can see her name down there. Suki Wu is the professor. So today my topic is awakening dignity, and I like to focus on 4 things actually. First, just a basic principle that whether you need to believe or not is not a question. It's just kind of mantra. In America, this mantra is kind of easy to understand. It's repeating. You repeat things. And our mantra, normally, what we repeat is, I'm not good enough. That is normally happens. And I don't like myself. Or somebody said, this is normal for all of us actually. Some we hide, some we don't say, some we say. Whether you age differences, it really doesn't make no differences. That happens. Sometimes some people is more manageable, some people cannot manageable because of different conditions. But that is what mantra usually we use. So that's why I said the first word you need to begin with is, oh, my nature is pure. And your thought comes, no. But then you repeat again, say, my nature is pure. My nature is uncorrupted by emotions. My nature is not corrupted by my habits. And my nature is not corrupted by what happened when I was young until now. That you must repeat. Nature is pure, nature is pure. I know it sounds really much, like a baby talk. But sometimes baby talk is very profound. So that is something you need to begin with. That is the mountain that you want to create first. So now, after that, what I should do is you need to learn to observe. Observe what? Observe first what to transform, what to change. The whole principle of doing exercise. I do exercise. Why I do exercise? Because what is my goal to achieve first? So my goal to achieve is to have good health, good heart, good health, and have a kind of healthy way of losing weight. But I have a strength in my knees and my ankles, This is my target. So my exercise need to follow the target that I want to achieve. You understand? It's very easy. It's like a kind of normal thing, right? So it's very important to observe what to transform. And many times in America, that when I'm traveling here, I see a lot of this mindfulness, present moment, and headspace, and all this kind of, things happen in meditation and with the exercise, yoga, and listening, and sound therapies, and chakra, and stone energies, and all that. But my point is, what to transform? You want to be strong muscles? You want to be lean body? You want to be healthy? What you want to achieve? So that's why sometimes you have not much clarity that what you want to achieve. Most towards like you looking for some kind of feeling that I feels good. I feel change. When I went to the sound, I feel calm. I can feel my chakras moving around. I feel the stone actually make my mind fresh, the crystals. I'm not against these things, okay? Please don't mistake my, my humble examples. What I try to say is kind of now becoming more, especially in Northern California or California state, is kind of normal, these things, right? You go to other states in America, can be not normal. But in Northern California or California state, it's kind of normal, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, but my point is, you actually becoming more driven towards feelings, but not realistically transformation. Like for example, I do 20-minute walk, just very normal walk, and I say, I feel I lost 5 pounds. It sounds not, no. When you go to scale, you not lose half a pound. But I felt I lost 5 pounds. When I said, keep saying that, what are you going to react with me? In your mind, you say, oh, Phakchok Rinpoche is stupid. But you're not going to say that. You say, oh, Rinpoche, it feels good, it's so nice. Because in America, we have a very polite culture. That way. I'm not kidding. So, awakening dignity is not about feelings. That is the one thing that I just want to put my feet ground, put my feet in place. It's not about feelings. It's about transformation. Realistically, you really see the change. And not only change, you see it, but your family members, your friends, your loved one actually sees slowly, they actually experiencing your changes. That changes only begins from observing. Through your reflection and through your observing. I have many weaknesses. I do. But my weakness is much, much lesser than 10 years ago. Okay? So how I can tell you is lesser, because I have a dignity that I saw, I observed, and I saw changes. In me, I saw around me, and I'm a married person, and my wife agreed with me. So it's quite a big deal when the wife says, yes, you are changed. It's not that easy to, get compliment from the closest person who knows me sometimes better than myself. Right? So now somebody will say, what I should really change? And first I want to say is, you need to observe to see 2 basic things. First, what you really need to change is your behaviors. Our behavior should not be hurtful, or directly or indirectly, physically, verbally, emotionally. Not should be harmful to anyone. Anything that hurtful to anybody, through verbally and emotionally and physically, that is not healthy. You know it and I know it. Whether you believe in religious or not, doesn't matter. You know it from deep down in your heart, common sense. You know it is wrong. How? You do it, you go back, you feel bad. But you don't want to tell anybody, because we lose our face. You need to stay on whatever mistake I've done. I don't want to say sorry. Because when you say sorry, you admit you did wrong. And that is a double punch in your face. Because first you know it, that is first punch, feel bad, and you need to agree with that, and somebody is going to say double punch. So we don't want to get double punch. Right? So that is what it is. So what you really need to understand is a very basic thing. You don't want to do something that you feel regretted. So you just need to observe first. Okay, my physical is my issue, or my verbal is my issue, or my emotional or my mentally thinking is my issue. You need to observe that. What is my weaknesses? Somebody says, Rinpoche, addiction is very powerful. I don't agree with that. Why? The moment you say addiction is powerful, you already lose 60% of your ground. You already a loser. The moment you say addiction is powerful. When you start saying addiction is not powerful, I can change. 60% ground is you are one without trying anything. 40% is an effort. So mental way of thinking is actually very important before you do meditation. That's why I worried something in America, that one time a swing of meditation is kind of high, but I know it's going to come down. Because you don't really see, you guys are very intelligent, and you went through it, and you see it's nothing happening, and you have some buzz, and there's nothing more, then you're going to change. It's like a, fashion. Right? So 1970s, pant that is longer on the feet is coming back after a few years, and goes very tight and goes back again and tight. It's like that. But meditation is not a fashion. Meditation is a transformation. And transformation does not, it's not a fashion. It's a real life, every day, today. You drink tea, you drink a coffee, you cook an egg, you eat bread. Right? You put some few things, but you eat every day. Never lose any passion. Because egg is good for you. They say not good, but it's actually good for you. They say, one time it's bad, and I try to stop eating egg. But now they say it's okay. So I keep eating. So now I worried I should not eat 2, 3, 4, 5. So I stick with 1. At least that, they say it's so good, so I'm not losing, I'm eating at least 1. And it can be they say, oh, it's very bad, at least I'm done not wrong, because I just eat 1. So, you understand. So right now, what's happening, you check in a society, we completely believe in someone actually telling us what is good and what is bad and what is wrong, what is right. You actually not observing yourself and what actually changes happen. You don't do that. You actually gave away your full understanding, full intelligence. You actually give away willingly, saying that that person is much better and he knows much better. Actually, for you yourself, 50% you know you're better. 50% they know better because they done research. So you need to listen both. Observe yourself and listen to the professionals. And that way balance, I think, is a middle way. Healthy way. So that's why you need to see your transformation. And you look around what the family members think about it. You don't need to go ask, but just we can know, we're not that stupid. We know we can feel it, we can see the transformation. That way is very important. First thing, what need to transform? Physical, verbal, emotional, that harmful to anyone. That needed to be transformed. Now, I heard many times this language when I observing my own things to change, I feel very uncomfortable. You know why? Because you completely forgot that your nature is pure. Your nature is uncorrupted at all. It's pure like this water. Uncorrupted by your behaviors, your habits, your emotions, or any condition that affected us. It's not corrupted to nature. It did change our pattern of mind in emotions, but that not change the essence of emotions. So that's why that is where you begin with. Whenever you observe, you feel a little bit bad about it, self-judgments. The moment you bring up, say, I have a mountain to gliding. The mountain is, my nature is pure. Remind that back. And that overcomes, the healthy observation is going to be completely unified. My nature is pure, then you're observing, and that is the best romantic. Best, combination. That is one thing that I want to mention today. Now, the second part. Every thought, every thought is very sticky. This is what I mentioned in the book. You can have very intelligent mind. Okay? You can go into the books and read 100 books. I have one friend. I call him how you say the book Google? No, like Google. It's more like a book Google, you know. Really, I just have eat food together, and I says, what does it mean of United States flag? And when it started, he knows almost everything about the world. But he doesn't know his character. You understand? He's hard. He's soft inside, hard outside. He's a very angry person, but very emotional. He wants love, but because he's so hard, nobody's giving love. And he's hungry for love, and that's why I hug him. When I say, oh, my friend, I hug him. He means man. I say, okay, enough hugging, it's too hard. So you can see that it's actually all of us, all of us are actually very nice, and honestly speaking, we forgot how nice we are, somehow. I don't know what happened to us, each of us, but we forgot about it sometimes. It's hard work, everyday working, earning money, fighting, you cannot be polite, you need to really get things done by things, hard, but you keep forgetting. And you have little time, and you do some exercise, some yoga, and you go to sleep, or you have a walking, you have a coffee, but you never ever observing how do I increase my observation, my transformation, how I can grow my emotionally improvement, or emotionally sort of maturing. Our body mature, our education mature, experience in life mature, but emotionally very difficult to mature. So that's why observation is number one. With saying that my nature is pure. Yes, you can say Rinpoche is very stupid, It's very stupid saying that my nature is pure, but not that stupid compared with saying I'm very bad. So when you choose these two, you want to have a very nice whole grain bread with a very bad quality white flour bread. You choose it. Of course, whole grain is better. But both are not good when you eat too much. But at least whole grain is better than the beautiful bun, white colored bun. They're going to kill you slowly. So it's like that. So don't say it's so stupid. It's very beneficial. Now, number two important topic that I want to say, actually I just mentioned it, I just started. Our thought is very sticky. Anything comes in, or you're experiencing, right? Looking at each other, picture, emotion, feelings, whatever, is stuck in your thought, and it sometimes comes again and again and again. Because our thought is so sticky, that we actually cannot rid of that things. Can be memory, can be something happen to you or not happen to you, can be dream actually. So I tell you a story. I'm sorry, my wife. Excuse me, my wife. One day I woke up in the morning, and my wife a little bit is upset. And I said, why are you upset? And she said, in my dream, she said, in my dream, I saw you going with other girls. And I'm very angry. And I say, it's your dream. And she said, yeah. Then I did it? No, I hope not. But then why are you angry with me? It's your dream. Still I'm angry. So I need to say sorry to my wife. What my point is that it's your own dream, it's your own thing, but you're angry with somebody else. And that is how sticky thought is. I call it sticky mind. Our mind is so sticky that you can read books, it's not going to help. You can watch a movie, it's not going to help. You can do yoga, it's not going to help. You can do present moment. Present moment, present moment is like a morphine. That you sort of, right? Then when your movement comes out from moving, pain begins. So that's why the sticky mind, I call sticky mind, is like a very sticky. Right? So when overwhelms you, how? I tell you. When your physical is tired, have no good sleep, especially young guys and young ladies. You need to sleep a little bit earlier. 11 is the latest. Please go to sleep like that. Why? It's going to hurt your body. Within 10 years, your body is going to age so fast internally, you actually not going to notice that. When you fall sick, then you know it. It's too late. And I love to sleep late too. So please sleep early. But my point is, when you sleep not good, when you drink too much alcohol, or you eat too much food, you have too much stress, too much emotion, or you fall sick, immune system down, that time your emotional, the sticky mind, you cannot manage well. And that time the breaking points happens. Anxiety, loneliness, depression, anger, frustration, punching, throwing happens. When I was young, 18 years old, I'm quite intelligent boy, but I'm a very emotional boy. I'm a very competitive boy, very proud boy. I studied in a Buddhist college because I need to be Buddhist, but I am a non-Buddhist in the Buddhist college. I am a non-believer for 3 years. So I have emotional problem. I'm angry to my professor, and I'm angry to the whole world, including Buddha. And I am not afraid of hell, because I don't believe hell. Anybody says I go to hell, I say send me. Right now. Or you tell me after death I go, then who knows where you go to. You send me right now, and nobody does. So I was like that. Okay? Did not help me at all. When I know I cannot manage my anger and I called my dad, and my dad called his teacher. He's 70 years old, meditation. I went to Bhutan illegally, alright, by the road. Okay, I met my teacher, and I spent time in 1 month with him, and he just trained me through love. And he asked a question. Are you believing anything? I said no. But in Buddhist culture, no. Buddhist culture. Inside is rebellion, but outside, no. Are you happy? No. So my teacher says, you being like a dog, you're not being like a lion. And I said, what does it mean? When you throw a stone at the dog chases the stone. When you throw a stone at the lion jumps on the person who's throwing the stone. The difference is one you chase after the rocks, one you chase after the person who throws the rocks. That is the distinguishing quality of lion and dog. Me, whatever comes in my mind, thought, feeling, emotions, I follow the emotions, I follow the thoughts, and I become the thought, I become that emotion. And I don't know how to handle that. So I'm being like dog, and I love dog, but this is the example. So my teacher says, where the thought arises, how the thought look like. Don't go forward, don't go backward, just observe the thought and just let it be. But what does it look like? The moment he says this to me, then something happened to my heart, that I have now a tool to actually observe. And that observation actually reduced 30 to 40% of my difficulty. That's why mind is very sticky, but you really need to understand, to observe that mind is sticky, but now you can work with it. Now you're all interested. Okay, I can say my nature is pure. I need to transform negative action, physical, verbal, mentally to anybody. I know it. Now thought is very sticky. Okay, Rinpoche, what is the grand finale? Right? They must have grand finale. You know, environment is important. Yes. Air is important. Yes. Clean water is important. Yes. Good balance of food is important. Yes. Good sleep is important. Yes. Wake up in the morning with positive thinking is important. Yes. So I'm telling you, life need different condition to put together, then you have good life. So you want to have a better emotion, they don't have no one single silver bullet. So don't wait for grand finale. But I can give you a conditions, few conditions that you work with together and you can see the changes. The first, after you notice the thought is very sticky. So now, what I should do? I know all of you do some kind of exercise, some kind of things. So I give you one tip that helped me a lot. It's going to help you. It's so simple, it's so nice, and you can give this technique to anybody. It's nothing special, but when you do well, it's so special. Right? You exhale your breath from your mouth completely out when you have overwhelming situations and your mind is completely sort of overwhelmed. The problem is reminding, but you can remember that. Exhale your breath. Hold for 2 seconds. Then breathe in from nose. You do this 5 times. All overwhelming collapse. This is not meditation. This is not magic. This is just a breathing that makes your mind easy to work with. That's the first condition. So easy. Remember that. When you stay alone, you feel bad, your mind goes around, goes look at things, and somehow our mind always like negative things. I don't know why. When I look at news, mostly it's negative. So positive news is very bad because we don't watch about positive things, right? You cannot complain the news people saying that why are you not showing positive things? Why? Because they research people not watching positive things, people looking for the negative things. So they're only showing negative things, So that's why you really need to understand your own observations. So most important part of us is first exhale your breath. Don't breathe in. This is very important. Don't breathe in 2 seconds. Then you breathe in from your nose. Exhale from your mouth. Not like this. That is not good. Okay? You do this, instantly it comes to your whole mind. Okay? Now, second, I'd like to give you. Very simple. Okay? It's very, very simple. I like to share my feelings. That I think in the retreat, in our Gombe here, meditation center in Legate, they heard about this. I share with them. I don't know all of you like that, but like me, I'm quite a nice person, and I'm willing to help anybody need help. I'm willing to give something. I'm willing to support people. I am that kind of person. And I have a very good family too. I have my dad is already passed, but he's a nice guy, and my mom's nice, and everybody's nice. But being nice family, I'm very blessed, very fortunate, and I would love to help. But it does not mean I don't feel kind of, I need unconditional care. Time to time, I need this unconditional love. Somebody really can sort of look. I have a beautiful wife, I have a beautiful kids, but sometimes they have this kind of hollow in my heart. Sometimes this kind of hunger, very small hunger, not really huge hunger, but sometimes grows, sometimes small, but kind of unconditional care, unconditional love. But my mind is so kind of intelligent that somebody do nice to me, right away I can sort of feel and I can see it, that person is not genuine. So that's why I always sort of wonder how to actually sort of, feel that particular, vacancy in my heart, small vacancy, and actually can. So how I see is one day my son, he talked to me, he says, Dada, I like you, but sometimes, I don't love you. When he's upset, he's 16 years old. When he said that, I feel so bad. And I realized that my whole happiness or my whole kind of life is depend on what my wife says, what my son says, what my daughter says, what my mom says to me. That is the world of my happiness and my meaning of life is. That shows actually, when you observe this, it shows clearly that actually my heart, I don't have unconditional love towards them. It's so funny that I want unconditional love, but I cannot love unconditionally to anyone. So that vacancy, actually I overcome by one method. And this I want to share with you. It's very simple. Now my son says, I don't love me, I'm fine with that. My daughter says, don't love me, I'm fine with that. Sometimes my mom says, I hate you, and she doesn't say, but whenever she says, I feel a little sad, but it's okay. I don't blame her. You understand? That actually overcomes, my me doing this. May all being happiness. I do this. May all being free from suffering. Very simple. May all being happiness. You need to say it. You cannot go. The whole thing is like, when I talk to my wife, I say, I love you, right? I need to say it. I cannot say it. You cannot do that, right? When you say I love you, then what you do? You go to kiss, right? You cannot say I love you. You cannot do that. It's so funny, right? I love you, right? Then what you do? Your hands go like that, and you hug, right? So you can look at this observation, the whole expression, the body, the word, this leaf goes through it like this, like Donald Duck. The whole thing is processed, So our traditionally is very rigid. They go like this. Suffering. I say, it doesn't work to me. So one day I go, may all being happiness. May all beings free from suffering. May all beings have, need to say slowly. May all beings free from suffering. May all beings happiness. May all beings free from suffering. May all beings happiness. May all beings free from suffering. May all beings happiness. May all beings free from suffering. Go slowly like this. Don't go, may all beings happiness. May all, no time to, rise, You go, I love you. I'm sorry, there's a time, You hold the hand, right? He goes like this, he goes like this, right? I said, you go slowly, I love you. There's a time to slow down, I'm not kidding. You cannot go, I love you. Now what do you do? This is too fast. It takes time. You go, may all beings happiness. May all beings free from suffering. When you do this, now I tell you one. When you sing, right? When I begin with this in the beginning, it feels like I'm just lying myself. I really did it. When I begin with that, I just laugh myself. I just laughing myself. Really, who cares, But you don't do that. What you do, you just do it. You remember, the word you say is the teacher, like guiding you. What you think is kind of following what you say. So the word is like guiding you, and your thought is to follow the word. When your thought following the word, may all beings happiness. May all beings free from suffering. When your thought actually follows straight with it, in line with your word, the thought and the word become in line. What happens? Remember, that moment becomes a key. When this thought, word becomes in line, becomes a key. It opens the heart. Normally what we do, hello, okay, like that. Then it doesn't open because you're talking here, you're thinking something else. It's not in line. The key is not doing things. The key is alignment. The pith is alignment, is not doing things. There's many people mistake. Some doctor says you need to eat chocolate, right? It's really good for you. Increases all this. The small baby has this thing. What do you call? This, the inside stem cells. They say, the stem cell in the body. They say chocolate grows. Research, scientific. So I start eating all the chocolates. But then they say not all chocolates. 70% above or 80 to 90% cacao is good. Not all chocolates. So like this, when I say you should do it, it's like a bad chocolate. You're doing it, but no effect. The effects comes from alignment. What does alignment means? You say the word, thought must follow what you say. Just do this 5 minutes every day. No need so many hours. Just 5 minutes. Thought, just follow the word. The moment the thought aligns the word, opens the heart. And what happens? You start feeling something different. There's something grows. Now you do every day 5 minutes. I realize myself, the vacancy in my heart disappeared. And the moment disappeared, somehow I become very genuine. I don't need to fake myself. When they become genuine, I start becoming like a fountain of loving kindness and compassion. It's not too much fountain, so big like Italy, but tiny fountain that I have enough to grow, at least. So today, my talk is, sometimes we give a talk that you need to take back something. I know all of you doing something, work today, or whatever, but you put effort, you woke up, many of you woke up, put effort, come here, and to listen something, this crazy man here, right? So, but you need to take back something. Whether you like it or not, whether you believe or not, I don't care. It's not about belief, it's not about things. You try it, you like it, try again. You don't like it, just throw away. Like an old shoe. Okay, in the garbage. Right? But it looks nice, it's effective you. Please teach especially your kids, teenagers, grandkids, or family members. Because they really need this. Because I have a son, 16 years old, and I have a daughter, 14 years old. And I saw the vulnerability of their emotional state. They are much, much vulnerable than when I was younger. It's so strange to see this way. So, you really need to be this, and you need to practice first. Okay? So, what I want to say is, today, first topic, our nature is pure. Our nature is pure. Our nature is pure. Just need to say that, number one. Number two, observation. What? Physical, verbal, emotional, anything harmful to others. You observe that, reflect that. You need to transform that, change that. It's number second. Number third, our mind is sticky. Our mind is sticky. I'm sorry to say, our mind is sticky. I have a memory of 10 years ago. I feel bad. How lousy it can be. I do meditation every day. I do all these things. Still, I'm going to be, feeling bad about 15 years ago. Oh my goodness. Right? Our mind is sticky. And you can say, Rinpoche, I don't believe anything. I'm a very spiritual person. Fine. Your mind is sticky. That's it, my dear. Really, my dear friends. Okay? Now, what you should do it. Okay, first, exhale our breath. Now, don't exhale from the nose. Exhale from the mouth, inhale from the nose. Quite scientific too, actually. Why? Exhale mouth is easy to release out, no stress. It's not really nice. There's some kind of bigger hole, easy. Breathe in from nose better. They say scientifically they have a lot of things here, they make air moisture and all the kind of stuff. So it's quite scientific. Remember this. Do in the morning, do in the afternoon, especially when you're hectic, emotionally overwhelming you. Remember this technique. overcomes almost all. Now the last part that we need to remember. May all beings happiness. May all beings free from suffering. May all beings have happiness. May all beings free from suffering. May all beings have happiness. May all beings free from suffering. May all beings have happiness. May all beings free from suffering. May all beings have happiness. May all beings free from suffering. May all beings have happiness. May all beings free from suffering. So final advice with this. When you do it, don't expect anything experiences. Don't expect. Do 100% what you do, but don't expect anything that could happen something. That expectation going to affect you negatively. Okay? So don't expect anything. Now this is very traditional. In the modern, no. When you do this, you feel more younger, you're going to glow, you're going to get all the universe, going to give you all the positiveness. You're going to feel so heart open, your heart pumped, and it threw out all the love. This is what you're going to write in New York Times. And that is wrong. Why? When you do something, you must do 100% what you do. Don't do with expectation. When you do with expectation, you are not doing 100%. In the back of your thought, that click, clock, expectations ticking. And that's what is does not experience 100%. That is my advice to you. Sometimes traditional has a much more deeper things than the modernized stuff. So this kind of modernized is not good. Okay? Other modernized, I like it. Phone, I like it, useful, right? I don't like the call dialing, putting finger and ring. You know, when you're 911 emergency, it's going to take time. You know, you already blood shutting out, it takes time. Later I just, hello, 911. Oh, I'm sure. Okay, it's easy. I'm sorry. Certain modern things is beautiful, very classic, but doesn't work. So, don't, but it's certain traditional, very, very effective. This part, traditional, is very nice. I done the modern way, I did not went far. I went traditional way, I went way far. And through my experiences, this is very important. Okay? And I'm going to just repeat again, then I'm going to open this place for your questions. And you can ask any questions. You can say, you hate me, I'm fine with that. You say, I hate Buddha and all this, I'm okay with that. Okay, don't worry, you just throw at me anything you want. Okay? I'm not going to take personally. I try my best to not take personally. Okay? First, our nature is second, observation. Third, sticky mind. Our mind is sticky. Now, number 4, the technique comes back. Exhale your breath. No, like, this is not good. Okay? That is the technique. The second technique, the last technique. May all beings have happiness. May all beings free from suffering. May all beings have happiness. May all beings free from suffering. May all beings have happiness. May all beings free from suffering. That's it. This for today.
Hello. All right. Now we will do questions. Okay, who has a question? Maybe you can say your name as well.
Yes, please say first your name, then please ask.
Dana. My question is, we here in the West we have all the information, right? All the information. When it comes to spirituality and Buddhism in particular, and also like Indian Advaita, that kind of thing, the information is very tied up with a lot of other cultural information. So we get really great spiritual guidance from Tibet, for example, but it's tied up with a lot of cultural stuff. And so my question is, do you have any suggestions for rich white people to extricate the really important stuff that we need and leave behind the dresses and the beads?
First of all, the word of culture is quite vague. What does it mean? Culture means eating food, talking to people, dress. Okay. And Buddha Dharma, I'm Buddhist, I will say. Buddha Dharma has a very unique part that actually majority of teachings actually not affected by culture. Now, what is really Buddha Dharma? You need to understand that. So persuasion is not actually culture, it's actually method. Doing the sitting of the bowls is not a culture, it's a method of generosity. So this thing is not culture. Now, this is culture. Like a brocade is actually, some is Tibet, some is Chinese. It's like, America, you have a nice suit. So you want to put all the quality of suit, it's like that. It's just being nice, Candles, America have more candle, we use butter lamp. That can be culture differences, what you easy to use here and there. But that doesn't not really changes anything about Dharma. So for me, I think I need to understand which one is culture you're talking about. You say this Rinpoche is culture, this is a culture, this is a culture in a Buddhist, then I can explain to you yes or no. You cannot just say everything is sort of culture like that, then it's not so clear. Therefore for me it's very vague, because I did learn which is culture, which is not culture about when you mention it. For example, like things like instrument and these things, which is culture, which is not culture. That's why I'm actually talking with some of my American friends. Actually, bye-bye. So actually I thought it's very interesting to American people to learn Vajrayana, like in Tibetan Buddhism, actually called Vajrayana. When you really teach correctly, like what really does, I think many Americans could embrace. But the problem was that gap of languages. The word and the language, and the Tibet teachers did not understand the American living standard and your words, and we use similar words. For example, faith. Right? When I say faith, you know what does it mean? Religious. Right? In our understanding, faith is completely different. That we use certain words so similar, and you have this assumption. Then the assumption we cannot cross through. And that was the gap I found out. When you really teach well, what really means, I think the Vajrayana going to be embraced by American people like a wildfire. For example, like this. It's very technical. Why? This is counter. I don't know what's makes lousy, but this is counter of 100. Each is 100. When I finish this is 1,000. So I use this as a counter of 1,000, the bell shape. When I finish this is 10,000. Then I use another marker as a 10,000. So actually this is my counting. You see other religious people use like that. But you're not going to see how Vajrayana use as a mala, as a counting numbers, and we put record here. And this is my record of how many mantras, how many I chant. Is everything recorded here. So I think I chant 2 million of one prayer. I did 2 million because I know exactly the mark. So something is very practical. So in America, you have this modern practical increases. For example, Starbucks, McDonald's, KFC. It's not really American culture, but it's become culture because you think people like the food. How I can produce food exactly the same to give every state in the US, right? So you study about that. Then you put this factory line of chain of food, and that becomes American culture. But it's not a culture. It's somebody smart enough to use intelligence, how to use mass production. And this is how Vajrayana do. Everybody use mala, but only Vajrayana we use this mala as a number counting, and no other religious does that. They has a mala, but they don't have the, this record in there. So that's why I'm telling you, sometimes I don't need to carry a book. I don't need to use my phone as a record how many mantra I chant. I just carry this is my recorded. So that's why certain things I think very good. This part of this. That's why culture is kind of way to how you function. And now the point is how you function. What is your base? I want to produce mass and make a lot of money. Right? And Vajrayana says how I can do it that actually can affect the student person to change. And that is actually what is really is. It's not a culture. It's a way of intelligent and many generations of observation, combination of techniques, how to change that person to get better. And you do this in America, such as psychotherapy, psychology. One person started 100 over years ago. Now you're over 10 books and doing researches and increasing books, right? Because to benefit people, right? And my theory, I'm sorry, I'm very bad. I'm educated, never been to BA, MA, master, but I have one theory about psychology. I want to throw out that. Many times do you have this kind of religious places like Catholic or Protestant and their priests and like that. So you go to confession box. Whatever you've done wrong, you just say it in there, and the person cannot see you really literally, but can see you something, and you can talk and you can say, oh, your sin is gone. You say Hail Mary 3 times, and you go offer 10 butter lamp or candle, and you're done, right? So that is religious people, how they go out from the regret and all guilt and whatever. Now many people go away from any religions. So now they have vacancy of regret, the vacancy of depression, the vacancy of how to deal with the emotions. They have nothing there. Then the psychology, I think, began to that we can see, the support that part of it. This is my thinking. I think it's possible that happen in the US. And I think it's good. The psychology is good. I think. Really good what you started. So this is my theory, can be completely wrong. I just want to throw out. Sometimes I like to think, like everybody does. Bye-bye. Thank you for coming. Bye-bye. Please watch your step. Thank you. Okay. Ask the questions. Bye-bye. Be careful. Yes, ask.
Hi, thank you so much. I really enjoyed your presentation.
Thank you.
There's two things that you said that I would like you to say more about, if you will. One was, you said, I think, the present moment is like morphine. Could you please expand on that idea? And the other one was, you said, I think you said, when you say addiction is powerful, you lose 60% of your ground. And I'm in recovery from addiction. And many of the programs, I'm in one that's called Refuge Recovery, which is a Buddhist-based program. And I'm in good old Alcoholics Anonymous too. And in a lot of those, we start, my name is Blaze, I'm an alcoholic. And so we're sort of, and the second step is to say that alcohol it has overpowered me. And so that's why I'm very interested in your idea. And like you, I'm fine if you say you hate those ideas. I can
go. Thank you so much. So friendly. Thank you. Just the present moment is morphine, because without any transformation, pre-idea of transformation, observation, just practicing present moment is morphine, because you don't see much of after that, you don't see much of progress. You can prolong present moment, but you don't see much progression. You need to see the changes happen to you. Just present moment method can be morphine, but you add observation before. And you observe, we practice present moment, then you do some kind of, see how you progress emotionally, mentally, physically, habit, how changes that particular present moment practice, then it's not a morphine. But just practicing the present moment without any beginning and without any end, just a present moment, I say is morphine, because it just gives you calmness in that moment and freedom, openness or whatever, but not transformation really. So that is what I want to say. Now, yes, I think this is how we start. Yes, I'm alcoholic, Of course, you need to acknowledge that. But I think we should not say, I'm overcome by my alcohol. I think you should not say that. Because not only you, all of us, we have kind of, can't say, is overwhelmed. No. What do you say? You are what? You going to do what?
Recovery.
No. Recovery. What recovery? Before recovery, what is that? Addiction. All of us, we have some kind of addiction, honestly speaking. Can be a special bed or food or something, But we never sort of acknowledge that, because it does not really harmful our body. But alcohol, it does, damage liver and whatever, and smoking, all this kind of stuff. So that's why we say, but now sugary food can be addiction, And that is really, I think sugary drink is kind of equal of alcohol, I think. But, you don't touch that, the sugary drink, it's sweet, But I think it's kind of alcoholic too, But my point is, when you say I'm overcome by that mental mantra, I feel like is sort of pushing you to not break through. This is the only I'm saying. I'm not saying that yes, I like alcohol, I cannot stop. It's okay to say that. So I give you an idea. I had a depression when I was 18. You can say depression is angry, upset, not happy with my life, like that. Sometimes it goes down, like this, just emotionally up, down, crazy, right? I went to see a Tibetan doctor, and I give my hand like this, and he goes like this. Oh, Rinpoche, the wind went into your heart. It's no problem. You take these medicines, you okay. You can see how light that was. Went into my heart. How easy that is, really, I'm not kidding. That already makes me feel good, Now imagine I went to psychotherapy or psychiatry, oh my goodness, you have medium depression. The word makes already kind of, heavy for me. That's I realized that word is so powerful in our mind. This is what I realized. That we really need to choose the right wording. And when you want to use depression, you say, depression is difficult, but it's fine. Something that we need to make light about it, It's not really light, but it's a light, Or you make this very heavy, that person rely on you. You understand? The whole idea of the Tibetan Buddhism of Vajrayana, actually, you all say Guru, oh my goodness, so danger, oh my, Actually, the whole sole purpose of Vajrayana Tantra is you to become independent. You to become not vulnerable, not emotional vulnerable, not spiritual vulnerable. Like when I say, don't expect, that is not make you not to become vulnerability. You do the practice, but you're not vulnerable now. But now I tell expectation too much. When you do the practice, in the mind you have vulnerability. Then you start asking the question, why I'm not my heart open? Who I should meet to? What mala I should use? Which stone I should touch to my chakra? You can see that vulnerability is there already. When you have vulnerability there, anybody can put your hand and can change it. So that's why our Vajrayana system actually teach you how to not to become vulnerability. Spiritually, emotionally, and whatever. That's why I think American people really don't understand what we teach, because this dress and things and guru and all these things, and you all put together, chop, then, it's very, you feel very scared actually. And I understand that actually. It's good to be scared actually, But I think you should really understand what is really our teaching is, and you're not going to be afraid about it. I'm very vulnerable state before, because of my teacher, train, I practice, I follow. Now I'm not that vulnerable actually, and I can see that. So thank you for your question. 2 more, 3 more, then we end here. We're all hungry.
Well, my name is Kat, and I started meditation in Bodh Gaya in the Theravadan tradition, doing Vipassana. And there was this story, that the Buddha, when he was trying to get enlightened, or I don't know if he knew, anyway, he's sitting there all night under that Bodhi tree, which is in Bodh Gaya. And it's not happening, he's not getting there. And then, and you see pictures of this too, he touches the ground, he's calling on the earth to help. And I wondered several aspects of that. Do you have that story also in your tradition? And I sort of feel like, there's no mention of God in Buddhism.
Oh, we have many gods. Not one god, but many gods.
Yeah, but the big sort of picture, like...
big god picture, no.
So what does it mean that he touched the earth? What was he calling on?
Because he have a lot of past lives that he need to practice, went through. So he used the ground, say, hey, how many things that I gave my limbs and my eyes and my effort for achievement this enlightenment. And the earth goddess comes in every sand of my earth. And that much effort you put into it to able to gain the realization. and you did use effort, something like that. I am like a weakness. My earth is a weakness for you. Because he born and reborn and reborn and reborn animals and whatever, all these stories we have. So it's more like weakness. Yeah. It's actually telling us be diligent, actually. It is really what it means to be. Yeah. Interesting, right? Yeah. Okay. Now, please, you have the power to give anybody, okay? I lost my track now.
Thank you again for being here. We really appreciate it. Would you talk a little bit more about not allowing others to trigger these emotions? When someone says something and we get fearful, we can feel that anger. I mean, it just comes up within us. What are some simple things we can do to just let that train go by? Just not get on it, but just what can you do not to allow others to trigger those emotional outbursts or that feeling of fear?
Emotion not to come, the two methods that I mentioned is quite helpful for the beginning to start with. But you cannot make everybody shut up mouth for you, You can't do that, There's a really great example of Shantideva. I don't want to say it, but it's very, time consuming. But you cannot everybody say, please treat me nicely. But what I can do is, when you exhale, and this practice can kind of relax your mind instantly. That is number one. Number two, when you start doing this hand gesture of simple loving kindness thing in the morning, that really good day to start with. You have a mental kind of stress-less start, selfless start. Not really selfless and nothing exists, nothing like that, but more relaxed self, Many of us a little bit hard, I think it's very good. These two methods is good for now. And you want more, you can have the more. That is not really a nice way to do it, but sorry. Anybody, please keep, you have power now. You choose anybody. I lost the track, sorry. Anybody.
Okay.
Yes. Your name and...
My name's Autumn. I have a question. You were talking about Vajrayana and you were talking about numbers. And you also said, you said the importance of alignment when you're doing the practice. And there's a lot of repetitions within the practices of Vajrayana. Hundreds of thousands, 1.2 millions.
This tiny.
Yeah. So, when I'm doing these practices, I want to align each accumulation, like each practice with, I want to give my all. But I think if I give my all to every one of these accumulations, it'll take me decades. Is it supposed to take me decades?
This is your problem. I'm sorry to say, but I teach you one method to do it correctly. You do mantra, right? Okay, I give you an example. You say Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, right? Then you do this. You switch your mind. You shut your mouth out. Then Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Then Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Then you keep alternating your mouth to the mind, mind to the mouth. That really helps a lot to do 100%. Now, why they have numbers? You did not experience it yet. When you chant every day diligently, your heart, your mind becomes a wish-fulfilling jewel. Every mantra chants, you actually glows. You resonate. Mantra really does resonate, like a, how you say, bye-bye. It comes to the religion that has this glow, vibration you can say, but I prefer to say glow. Then your heart becomes a jewel. Now, mantra need these numbers because we don't know how to do well. We don't know what is the number, when you're going to be transformed 100%. So they give you this long number to give you time to finish, and they have time to transform. So that's why I have a teacher, he finished 200 million. So you say 1.2 is nothing. I did one practice, I did 6 million. And the one I did here is 2 million. So it's nothing much of a few million, 1, 2 million is nothing. So I'm still doing it, but there has something. Mantra is directly hits nature. When you chant the mantra, you don't really realize right away, but you could see after. You gain some kind of, deep down in your heart, that you could gain this kind of strength in heart when you chant the mantra. That's why we always say, you need to meditate, you need to practice compassion, but you must chant the mantra. That balance these three. Okay. Behind there, all the behind. Then Anila want to ask you. Yes.
Thank you very much for being here. My name is Rachel. My question is, earlier you mentioned the vacancy, the feeling in your heart that sometimes you have of needing unconditional love. And you described, it's not a big feeling, it's a small feeling. And I'd like to ask how to take care of that feeling myself, out of the context of a wife or children or a family like that, but how to care for that need for love.
This practice that I told you, do this every day, 5 to 10 minutes. Best is morning and do whenever you want. You do this every day, 1 month, see what happens. I have a high possibility the vacancy that you have, or whoever has, it does reduce. And you're going to have some changes in your life. And then you're going to attract somebody who you like. And whether that person makes you happy or not really doesn't make differences. Whether you come together, you're happy, but when you're separate, doesn't matter. Because you're relying on yourself, on that vacancy, not that person. So you're much more better stuff. You have the person, it's more like having a nice bag. And if you don't have the bag, you're fine with that. But you don't have heart, and that is a problem. So that's why you should have a heart, that you don't need somebody's heart on you, but you have a heart by having a relationship and having nice bags. This is, I think, very good. That's why you practice this, and you're going to experience. And you really experience, you really help, and talk about this to your friends and family members, whoever you want. They don't need to be religious, they don't need to be Buddhist actually. Just do that. That can benefit their life. This is the whole thing. Yeah? Okay? So keep this side and keep on the other.
Thank
So
you.
I think 5 minutes and I'm going to finish up. Yes.
Thank you, Rinpoche. First, Animasha told me to tell you hello. So I've been beginning to study the Rice Seedling Sutra. Rice Seedling Sutra on dependent origination. And my question is, how did any of us ever have the causes to become interested in this path?
The concept, what's the matter?
我这因为那个呢，去年们学了因还有的，
Kanilyabanes.
几天。
Yeah, the real interest of practicing Dharma or whatever, I really think it's come from your nature.
Thanks to my nature.
You see your vacancy in the heart? Actually not that. The vacancy is 911 call from your nature. I'm not kidding. Because when you don't feel that vacancy, it's like you completely out in the world, and one day you're not success, right? Then you feel that vacancy. But you had that vacancy all through. But because you're out the outside world, completely forgot about that. But the vacancy, we see it negatively actually. But it's not a negative. It's the something that your nature tells you, innate nature tells you. You need to remember your nature is pure. So that's why you keep doing this practice. Great changes happen. Because that's what Anila comes back to your answer. The real interest to learn Dharma comes from the nature.
Now, a follow-up one is that many people have been introduced to Buddha Dharma, particularly in the West.
No,
And
not
hardly-
only West, everywhere actually.
And hardly anybody truly practices it. So
Anywhere, everywhere.
what are the conditions that we need to cultivate in our lives so that we can continue the practice to culmination?
Saying that how to people to practice purely, right?
Yes.
Start with yourself. That's why the great Master Phakchok Rinpoche said, when you want to establish Buddha Dharma, establish within yourself first. That's why my guru meditate long time. I went to retreat 100 times, go in and out for 3 years. That's why I keep this kind of hair. So your practice genuinely, without any expectation, completely based on compassion to the beings. That is what you need to do every day. And that really changes. Yeah, you need to start with yourself. Okay, please speak. Okay, we have 3 minutes.
Okay. Hello, my name is Michael, and to use your analogy about the 911 call, I stumbled across a book by Thich Nhat Hanh a month ago, and it just hooked me. And I've been consuming just about everything that he's written since. And I wonder what your thoughts are on mindfulness and his approach.
Very good. But do it everything Thich Nhat Hanh said. Learn a little bit more, not only just book. Go into the teachings, life teachings, like that. Book only half. So, but what I want to tell you, learn to do observation, what to transform. Then learn everything Thich Nhat Hanh said. And that will be very good for you. You don't need more, you don't need less. Just learn what to change. I just mentioned today a little bit of the basic ones. But in our system, we have 4 to change. What I mentioned today is just the first one. There are 3 more. But I'm not going to say it. Somebody told me, you need to show an ankle. Don't show whole naked. So I'm doing this today. I just show an ankle. Now you all wonder what is our D3 down there. Join Gomde there. Sorry. Okay, just one more.
One more. Hi, my name is Alina. I was just wondering what your thoughts are on how do you cultivate pleasure and happiness through moments of patience, like when you're in a transition or when you're working really hard for something and you just can't wait for that moment to get there. How can you cultivate happiness in that patience moment?
So I just want to know exactly what you're saying is basically you're doing something and you're waiting for something patiently, and now how to use this my time to be meaningful way, something like that?
Yes. Yes.
I'm a religious person, I chant. And no religious, sometimes, when I don't want to be religious, I meditate. Okay? When I don't want to be meditator, then I do non-meditation. And I do it for all the beings, that loved ones, vacancy that I had before, I know everybody has some kind of way. And I say all being happiness, cause of happiness. May all being free from suffering, cause of suffering. The evidency. And I use this time a little bit there. And I feel tired, and I go like that. And I fall asleep. That I did in the car. So he's driving, I talk to him a little bit. And I sort of listen my guru's teaching. And I think of my teacher, my precious teacher. Then I feel tired, then I plug in, then I close like that, and I fall asleep for 1 hour. Then he driving a little bit strange, then I call work out, and he fall asleep or not, you know. But this is how I do it. So basically, breathing, compassion, focusing, breath, and you feel tired, just learn to sleep. Rest a little bit. This is how I do it. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you our organizers, and thank you for this place. Okay, thank you.